Cruise buffets seem like food heaven. Endless choices, no limits, and something for everyone. But some of those tempting dishes are better left untouched, and knowing which ones to skip could save your stomach, your sleep, and your whole trip. Number 20. Scrambled eggs. Watery, powered, and suspect. They might look like a harmless start to your morning, but those buffet scrambled eggs? They're usually not made the way you'd hope. On many cruise ships, the scrambled eggs come from a powdered or liquid egg mix, which is fast and cheap, but not exactly appetizing. The result often ends up rubbery, watery, and oddly bland, with a texture that's more sponge than egg. Add in the fact that these trays sit out under heat lamps for long stretches, and what you've got is a breakfast that's already past its prime by the time you scoop it. If you're someone who likes your eggs fluffy and fresh, there's a better move. Most ships have an omelet station where eggs are cracked on the spot and cooked to order. You get to choose your toppings, watch it sizzle, and actually enjoy something hot off the grill instead of lukewarm from a pan. Better yet, the main dining room usually serves breakfast with real eggs and better quality ingredients. If you're gonna fuel up for a long day on the ship or an early excursion, skip the mystery eggs and start with something made with care. Number 19. Buffet bacon. Cardboard with grease. Bacon's usually a crowd favorite, but what you find at the cruise buffet often falls short. Way short. Instead of those crispy, smoky slices you might enjoy at home, cruise buffet bacon tends to be thin, brittle, and swimming in oil. It's cooked in massive batches, so it either ends up overdone and dry or limp and greasy from sitting out too long. Sometimes it's piled high in greasy clumps where the pieces are stuck together and you're left peeling them apart like puzzle pieces. What's worse is that all that salt and grease can leave you feeling heavy before you've even had your morning coffee. And if you've got an early shore excursion, that's not exactly the kind of fuel you want. A much better option? Head to the carving station if it's open for breakfast and grab a slice of fresh ham, or check the main dining room's menu for properly cooked bacon served fresh to your table. The difference in taste and texture is huge. On a cruise where food is everywhere, don't settle for bacon that tastes more like cardboard dipped in salt water. Number 18. Sushi. Raw fish plus warm temperatures equals risk. Sushi might be a welcome surprise at a cruise buffet, but it's also one of the riskiest foods to pick up if you're not careful. Raw fish and seafood need strict temperature control, and buffets are not exactly famous for that. If the sushi has been sitting out for even a little while, the freshness disappears fast, and once raw fish starts to warm up, bacteria can grow quickly, especially in the humid environment of a cruise ship surrounded by ocean air and hundreds of guests. It's not just about freshness either. Sushi rice also needs to be kept at safe temperatures to avoid spoilage. So while that California roll might look good under the lights, what you can't see could leave you feeling sick. If you're really craving sushi, there's a smarter way to go about it. Most ships have specialty restaurants where sushi is prepared by trained chefs in small fresh batches. You might have to pay a little extra, but the taste, presentation, and safety standards are worth it. Sushi should be a treat, not a gamble, especially when you're thousands of miles from the nearest hospital. Number 17. Soft serve ice cream. Sticky handle horror. On a hot sea day, the soft serve machine can look like a gift from the dessert gods. But before you pull that handle, it's worth thinking about what else might be stuck to it. These self-serve machines see non-stop use, especially on family cruises where kids are running around with sticky hands and napkin-free enthusiasm. If the area around the machine looks messy, drips on the counter, spills on the floor, or half-melted cones abandoned nearby, it's a sign that the cleaning routine might not be up to standard. Because of all that activity, these machines can become breeding grounds for germs, especially when the handles aren't cleaned often. And let's be honest, when was the last time you saw a crew member wiping them down during peak hours? That's why many cruisers skip the soft serve altogether. Instead, check if there's a dessert counter with crew-served ice cream or gelato. These options are often cleaner, tastier, and include better flavors than the basic vanilla chocolate twist. A refreshing treat should leave you smiling, not wondering if you just picked up more than sprinkles. Number 16. Buffet burgers. Heat lamp graveyard. A burger on board sounds like a casual, satisfying lunch, but what you find under the buffet's heat lamps is a far cry from the juicy classic you're picturing. Buffet burgers are often pre-cooked in large batches, then kept warm for long stretches. The buns go soggy, the patties dry out, and the cheese, if there is any, ends up looking like it's given up entirely. You might grab one out of hunger, but chances are you'll be disappointed before you finish the first bite. The good news is that most modern cruise ships offer poolside grills or burger bars where the burgers are made to order. These spots serve them hot off the grill with your choice of toppings, and usually much better buns and sauces. You might have to wait a few minutes, but the difference in quality is worth it. When food is free and everywhere, you don't need to settle for something that's been sitting under a lamp since noon. Go where it's fresh, and your lunch will feel more like a treat than a mistake. Number 15. Spicy dishes. Your stomach's worst port day enemy. That tray of spicy curry or chili might smell amazing, but cruise buffets aren't always the best place to gamble with heat, especially the night before an early port excursion. Spicy foods can be delicious, no doubt, but they can also mess with your digestion, lead to heartburn, or send you scrambling for the nearest bathroom in the middle of your shore tour. Cruise kitchens often batch cook large quantities of spicy dishes and leave them under heat lamps. That means spices can intensify or settle unevenly, making one scoop mild and the next one fiery enough to regret. Also, rich or oily spicy dishes can clash with sea motion. Even if you normally have a strong stomach, tossing waves and spicy beans don't mix well. If you're planning to explore early the next day or have a long bus ride on the itinerary, it's safer to stick to gentler options. Save your spice adventure for a relaxed sea day when the only trip you need to make is to the nearest deck chair. A little caution now can save you a lot of discomfort later. Number 14. Drink of the day cocktails. Overpriced sugar bombs. They come in bright colors, they're served in novelty glasses, and they have names like Island Paradise or Caribbean Hurricane. But most drink of the day cocktails are more sugar than substance. Cruise ships promote them because they're cheap to make, lots of fruit-flavored syrup, maybe a splash of juice, and barely enough alcohol to notice. What you're really paying for is the presentation, not the quality. After 2 or 3, you might feel a sugar crash before you feel any buzz. The worst part? These drinks often cost just as much, if not more, than a carefully mixed cocktail at the onboard bar. And if you're sensitive to sugar or alcohol, these syrup-heavy mixes can leave you bloated, dehydrated, and even hungover faster than you'd expect. If you're looking for something to sip by the pool, go for a classic drink with fewer ingredients and better balance, something like a mojito, gin and tonic, or a glass of wine. Or ask the bartender to tone down the syrup and focus on real flavors. You'll enjoy it more, and your body will thank you later. Number 13. Coffee, the dishwater disaster. If you're a coffee lover, prepare for heartbreak at the cruise buffet. The free coffee served in those giant silver urns may technically be coffee, but many guests find it weak, bitter, or barely drinkable. It's brewed in bulk, often hours ahead of time, and reheated as needed. The result is usually a watery, lukewarm mess that feels more like punishment than pick-me-up. It might get the job done if you're desperate, but it's not how most people want to start a relaxing vacation morning. And if you're used to cafe-quality espressos or lattes, you'll taste the difference immediately. Fortunately, there is an easy fix. Most cruise ships have onboard coffee bars that serve specialty drinks made by trained baristas. Whether you want a cappuccino, iced latte, or just a strong Americano, it's worth the extra few dollars or the beverage package upgrade. You'll not only get a better brew, but also avoid the long buffet lines in the morning rush. When you're on vacation, treat yourself to the good stuff. Life's too short for bad coffee, even in the middle of the ocean. Number 12. Open condiments. Germ magnets. At first glance, that bottle of ketchup or mayo sitting on the buffet table looks harmless, but think about how many people have touched it before you, and how few of them probably sanitized their hands. Shared condiment bottles are one of the most overlooked hygiene hazards at any buffet. They get grabbed, squeezed, and passed around all day long, and they're rarely wiped clean between meals. It's even worse when there's no pump and everyone's flipping open the same cap. Cruise ships are full of people from different places, and germs can spread fast in shared spaces. That's why it's smart to avoid touching these bottles directly if you can help it. Use a napkin to grab the handle, ask a crew member for single-use packets, or stick to pre-portioned condiments when available. Many ships also have pump stations. Still not perfect, but slightly better than a greasy bottle that's been on the table since breakfast. Hygiene doesn't need to be complicated. Just a little awareness can help you avoid an upset stomach or worse. Keep it clean and keep your cruise carefree. Number 11. Buffet water. Potential swelling trigger. You'd think a glass of water would be the safest thing on board, but not always. Most cruise ships use desalinated seawater for cooking, cleaning, and yes, even drinking. While this water goes through purification systems and is technically safe, some guests still report swelling in their legs, ankles, or fingers after drinking it regularly. Whether it's the residual salt content or how the water reacts with different people's bodies, no one's quite sure, but the complaints are common enough to be worth noting. If you're someone who's sensitive to sodium, or if you've experienced water retention in the past, it might be smart to limit your intake of buffet water. Instead, opt for bottled water if your cruise line offers it, or check if bottled water is included in your drink package. Some guests even bring their own refillable bottles with built-in filters. Staying hydrated is important, especially in the heat, and how you hydrate matters too. If you're feeling bloated or puffy during your cruise, your water source might be worth a second look. Number 10. Day 1 buffet. Post-boarding mayhem. When you first board the ship, it's tempting to head straight to the buffet. After all, you're hungry, excited, and ready to dive into vacation mode. But that's exactly what everyone else is doing too. Day 1 buffet chaos is real. It's crowded, loud, and hectic, especially if you're dragging carry-ons or still figuring out where things are. You'll find long lines, packed tables, and food that's already been picked over. It's not the best way to kick off your cruise. Instead, check if the main cabin dining room is open for lunch. Many ships offer a quieter sit-down meal for new arrivals, and it's often better food with none of the stress. If not, explore other casual spots like the pool grill or pizza station. You'll skip the madness and still get a satisfying first bite. Number 9. Mystery meats. Unlabeled equals unknown. Every buffet has that one tray of food that looks decent but has no label. Maybe it's a reddish stew or a breaded something. Is it chicken? Fish? Who knows? The problem with mystery meats isn't just the confusion, it's the risk of food allergies or cross-contamination. Cruise kitchens prep massive quantities of food, and when serving utensils are shared between dishes, it's easy for ingredients to mix. If a dish isn't labeled clearly, don't assume. Ask a crew member or skip it altogether. People with food sensitivities should be especially cautious. Even if it smells good, it's not worth getting sick. Stick to dishes that are properly marked or choose areas where food is served by staff instead of self-serve trays. Being careful about what you eat can be the difference between enjoying your cruise and spending part of it in the infirmary. Number 8. DIY salad bars. Looks healthy, may not be. Salad bars are supposed to be the healthy option, but cruise buffet ones often fall short. Lettuce that's been sitting out too long wilts fast, especially under warm lights. Toppings like shredded cheese, deli meats, or mayo-based dressings don't always stay cold enough, raising concerns about freshness and safety. Plus, everyone's using the same spoons and tongs, which adds another layer of risk. You might even notice other passengers picking through ingredients with their hands or accidentally dropping food into the wrong trays. If you want a salad, your best move is to look for pre-plated options or request one from a staffed station. Some ships also offer fresh salads in the dining room, which are usually better prepared and served under safer conditions. Don't let a salad be the thing that spoils your appetite or your trip. Number 7. Saucy Pastas. Creamy but creepy. Pasta can be comforting, but buffet-style saucy pasta often misses the mark. The creamy sauces, like Alfredo or carbonara, tend to sit out in warming trays for long stretches, thickening and separating into a greasy mess. That once silky texture turns clumpy and the noodles become gummy or overcooked. It's not just about taste either. Dairy-based sauces that aren't kept at safe temperatures can become breeding grounds for bacteria. If the tray looks crusted around the edges or the sauce has a weird sheen, you're better off skipping it. Some ships do offer pasta made fresh at a chef-attended station where you pick your noodles, sauce, and add-ins on the spot. That's where the real flavor and safety lives. Don't be fooled by the fancy labels or toppings. When it comes to pasta at sea, fresh made beats buffet every time. Number 6. Fried foods. Cold, greasy, and sad. Golden brown and crispy may be the goal, but buffet fried foods rarely deliver. Once it comes out of the fryer, it's piled into trays where it steams itself into a soft, greasy heap. French fries go limp, onion rings lose their crunch, and fried chicken can turn soggy within minutes. Worse, when oil isn't changed frequently, everything starts to taste the same, bland and heavy with old fryer flavor. You might think you're getting a quick, satisfying bite, but more often it just leaves you feeling sluggish. Fried foods are best eaten fresh, hot, and with some crunch left in them. Cruise ships usually have poolside fry stations or snack bars where the food is made to order. If you're craving fries or chicken tenders, head there instead. That short walk can mean the difference between a delicious snack and an oily regret. Number 5. Seafood salads, especially shrimp cocktail. Cold seafood dishes seem like a safe, refreshing option until you consider the risk. Shrimp cocktails, crab salads, or mayo-heavy seafood mixes don't hold up well in buffet conditions. Sitting out for long periods, even on ice, can cause textures to break down and flavors to turn. The risk increases with every hour the dish remains exposed. Shellfish in particular can spoil quickly, and with so many people dipping into the same tray, cross-contamination becomes a concern. Shrimp that's slightly off might not taste terrible in the moment, but it could catch up to you later. If you're in the mood for seafood, look for grilled or steamed versions served hot and fresh. These are typically prepared closer to serving time and kept at safer temperatures. Cold seafood is a gamble in any buffet setting, and on a cruise, it's not a risk worth taking. Number 4. Shared tongs equals shared germs. Buffets come with a hidden trade-off. You're not just sharing the food, you're sharing the tools. Tongs, spoons, and ladles are handled by hundreds of guests throughout the day, many of whom haven't washed their hands. Even when sanitizer stations are available, not everyone uses them. That means every shared utensil becomes a hub for germs, especially when guests drop them into the food trays or touch the food directly. It's easy to forget in the excitement of choosing what to eat, but one careless move can transfer bacteria from one dish to another, and if someone's sick, that contamination can spread fast. Some cruise lines are starting to add crew-attended stations where servers handle the food for you, which helps a lot. Until then, always sanitize your hands before and after serving yourself, and avoid using tongs that have clearly touched the food. It's one small habit that can save you from a big headache later. Number 3. Buffet pizza. Not always a slice of heaven. Buffet on a cruise should be a guaranteed win, right? Not quite. The pizza on the buffet line often suffers from the same issue as other hot foods. It sits too long. What starts as a gooey, cheesy slice turns stiff and dry under the heat lamps. The crust gets tough, the cheese becomes rubbery, and the whole thing feels like a microwaved leftover. And since buffet pizza is mass-produced in batches, it's usually made with basic ingredients and minimal seasoning. You'll rarely find variety either, just plain cheese or pepperoni. If you really want a great slice, skip the buffet and head to the dedicated pizzeria on board. Most cruise ships have one, and they usually make each pie fresh with better dough, toppings, and flavor. There's nothing wrong with grabbing a quick snack, but if pizza's on your mind, make it worth the calories. Number 2. Undercooked eggs, meats, and sketchy specials. Some buffet items look tempting, but if you cut into that slice of roast or spoon up some scrambled eggs and see pink, runny, or undercooked parts, put it down. Buffet heat lamps don't cook, they just keep food warm. That means if something wasn't fully cooked in the kitchen, it won't get any safer sitting on the buffet line. This is especially true with dishes like eggs Benedict, roast beef, sausages, or carved poultry. If anything seems underdone, don't assume it's safe. Ask a crew member or go for another option that's clearly cooked through. Some buffets even serve special items that don't appear on the main menu. They're not always bad, but they're also not tested as frequently as regular offerings. So unless you know exactly what it is, and it looks fully cooked, leave it alone. You don't want food poisoning as your vacation souvenir. Number 1. Overloaded plates. Buffet regret in a nutshell. It's easy to get excited in front of a massive buffet. Everything looks good, smells amazing, and suddenly your plate is stacked with a chaotic mix of pasta, salad, fries, fried chicken, shrimp, and cake. The problem? Mixing too many foods, especially rich ones, can lead to bloating, indigestion, or even an upset stomach later. And most of that food won't taste as good after sitting together under a pile of sauces and toppings. Cruise buffets give you the freedom to eat what you want, but that doesn't mean you should grab it all at once. The smart move? Take small portions, taste a few things, then go back for seconds of what you really liked. You'll enjoy your meal more, waste less food, and feel better afterward. Cruises are about relaxing, not recovering from self-inflicted food coma. Your body and your cruise photos will thank you. Knowing what to skip at the cruise buffet can save you from stomach trouble, wasted calories, and regret you didn't need on vacation. From soggy fries to sketchy seafood, a little caution goes a long way. So next time you're cruising, be picky. You deserve food that's fresh, safe, and actually worth eating. If you found this helpful, give it a like and hit subscribe for more cruise tips that make your trip smoother, tastier, and stress-free. Until next time, bon voyage, and may your next buffet plate be full of flavor, not regrets.